this is how I started my Monday.
Hey guys, happy Monday. I'm back. Today I was planning on redoing the mandala that I started on January 1st. Why? Because I am not really happy with the result. This is how far I've come, but somehow I'm not very happy with how it is looking. Maybe because I did not really paint much in the month of December. Maybe that is why I lost touch and my hand was shivering while I was doing these strokes. I was very upset, but I thought, let me take a few days of break and then think with a clear mind on what to do with this mandala, whether to proceed with however it is or whether to repaint it. Okay, but today I'm still not feeling very good about it. So I thought I'll just paint this complete thing black. I will paint this completely black and I will just flip the board and restart with the design. It is kind of satisfying with the texture underneath. I'm sure this will look very good for a back side of a mandala. I remember doing this once back in 2024. I started with 18-inch board when I first tried brush strokes and it went pretty bad too. So this is giving me nostalgia. Look at the texture, it looks so good. Let's flip the board now. Now let us find the center and create grid before we start painting. So the tools we will be using is scale. I cannot find my 60 centimeter scale. That would have been easier to use here for a bigger board. But right now I'll manage with the 30 centimeter scale. And I'm using a big compass, a small compass, protractor and pencil. I usually use trial and error method to find the center, but since I don't have my big scale, I will use chord method. We will be marking two equal chords side by side. With the help of that chord, we will drop two perpendicular lines which intersect at the center. So let us see how to do that. Okay, so let us draw a 30 centimeter chord on the right side with the help of scale and pencil. Okay, so this is 30 centimeter. So we are going to mark equal chord towards the left side of this existing chord. You can do it on left side or right side, it doesn't matter. But all that matters is it has to be same as the previous chord in terms of length. So again, we are going to mark a 30 centimeter chord. So both are 30 centimeter. Okay. Next we will mark midpoint for this chord, that is 15 centimeter. We will repeat the same on this side as well. So whatever we do for one chord, we will repeat it for the second chord as well. Okay. So the next step is, as I said, dropping a perpendicular. For that, I will place the protractor on the midpoint, the 15 centimeter point that we marked here, and mark a point at 90 degree. Now repeat the same on the other chord as well. Okay. So next step is to connect this 15 centimeter point and 90 degree point. Okay, repeat the same for the other side also. Okay, so now wherever these two lines are intersecting is the center. So now we will wipe the unnecessary lines and just keep only the center. So next step is to draw a diameter. At least this is what I do. I draw a line that passes through the center, which is nothing but diameter. So since the scale is small, let us do it in two parts. We'll first draw one part of the diameter and then the second part. So this is the diameter. Next, we will take protractor. If you have a pro circle, use a pro circle. So now let us take the protractor and place it such that it is aligning properly with the diameter. This diameter is nothing but our 0 to 180 degree line, okay, and the central hole of the protractor will be properly aligning with the center. So now we will divide the board into 36 equal sections. For that we'll have to mark points at an interval of 10 degrees each. So if you want to divide the board into lesser sections, then increase the angle to 15 or 30 degree as you like. Okay, so now let us start marking points at 10 degree interval. So 0 is already there. Next is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, so on up to 180. So you will get 18 points on one side of the board, another 18 on the other side, dividing the board into 36 equal sections. We will repeat the same on the other side. So we'll just take our protractor, flip it and place it in the same way like we did previously. We have to be very careful. Any minute deviation will result in large deviation towards the outer end. So same 10 up to 180 degree, 10 degree interval. Okay, so we have all these tiny points. The next step will be to connect the opposite points together to create grid lines. Let us connect the opposite points together now. Okay. So place the scale such that point from upper end and point from lower end are in line and is also aligned with the center. Okay. So this is how it is. We will just have to extend it. If you have a bigger scale, the job is easier. Extend it on both the sides. It has to touch the edge on both the sides. Let us repeat this step for all the opposite points. This completes the grid line construction. The last and final step is to create concentric circles. For this, there are two methods. First method is equal spacing, where the distance between each consecutive circles are same. For example, you take your pencil and scale and mark points like this: 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeters, so on. So you're constantly and uniformly maintaining 1 centimeter gap between the 2 points, between each 2 points. So you will repeat this until the edge of the circle, and the next step would be to create circles on these points, the marked points. Second method is variable spacing, where the spacing will be not equal. For example, you start from 1 centimeter, maybe next one is 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, 12.5. So it's random. The spacing is not equal between each consecutive circles. So these are the two methods. I use something in the middle, not the first method, not the second method, but I randomly create circle with the help of the compass without marking any points. So I either start from the center or from the outer direction. So let us start from the outer direction now. So I randomly create one circle without measuring the radius. Okay, one circle is done. Now for the second circle, I slightly decrease the radius and make adjustments here and create the second circle. For the third circle, I decrease the radius a little more and again do some adjustments over here and create the third circle. Reduce a little more for the fourth circle. So we will repeat this until we reach center of the circle. So now I feel the gap between these two circles is a little more than what is required. So I will draw one more circle in between these two circles. So this is how I do trial and error and create my circles. I don't follow any particular measurement. For last couple of circles, I will use smaller compass. The big compass doesn't let me draw very small circles. Somehow it's not giving me good results. So I switch to a smaller compass for the last few circles. But the method remains the same. Reduce the radius little by little, randomly, no specific measurement. So it is very similar to variable spacing, but we are not fixing that variable spacing, we are randomly doing it. And we are done. So this completes the grid construction. My mic was switched off the whole time and I think I was talking but it wasn't recorded. What I was telling is that whenever you create ring of dots, if you want uniformity in the size of dots, you need to dip the tool every single time for every single dot. Don't be lazy and create 2 to 3 dots with a single take of paint. Now I'm creating the second layer. When we are creating the second layer of ring of dots, we will be placing the dot in between every 2 dots from the previous layer. So that is how it looks neat and uniform. Otherwise it may look like the dots are scattered everywhere. If you need that neat and compact look, you need to find the space between every 2 dots in the previous layer and place that new dot. the two dots have merged here. Once it's semi-dry, I'm using this needle tool to scoop away the area that's merged. Right now I'm creating the third layer. As you can see, I go from light to dark most of the times, majority of times, when I'm creating ring of dots, and I create up to 4 to 7 rings on an average. It depends on the number of colors I use and size of the board as well. So just the ring of dots or center of the board can be one whole chapter if I have to talk about. So there is a lot of tips and tricks to achieve perfect ring of dots, which cannot be covered in short videos like these. So I'm planning on coming up with courses like structural, straight from preparing the base, finding the center, creating grid. For finding the center, maybe I'll teach you 2 to 3 methods. You can stick to the one you're comfortable with. So that's the plan. If you're interested in taking up my recorded courses, please say yes in the comments, and that will motivate me to finally record my courses, because I've been planning this from more than a year now. But I really enjoy taking live classes because I get to interact with my students. But I know many of you are not available to take up live classes, so recorded courses will help you go through the recording and learn in your free time. So I will definitely record my courses and they will go live very soon. And also, if you want to learn a particular topic, please let me know in the comments. I'll try to cover those topics as well. I'll complete this one last ring for now, and then I need a little bit of time to think what went wrong in the previous design. Was it the colors or the pattern flow? I'm not sure, but I'm sure I was happy until here. Then something went off. So I'm going to complete this ring and wrap it up for today, and then decide what to do. If you have any suggestion, I would be happy to know. I was supposed to stop here and take a break. It's been over 2 hours of me sitting and painting this mandala, plus recording while I'm doing all of this. But this is so satisfying that I feel like just keep doing this throughout the day. Okay, then I'll just do all the micro dots and then stop for the day. I have a lot of other things to do as well, like I said, planning of my recorded courses. I'll definitely keep an eye out for the comments and suggestions. I'll definitely consider all those points when I'm actually recording my courses. And I'm sure you will be learning a little something through my Mondays with Color Prism as well. Oh yeah, my mic stopped working and I think you can hear the clock ticking sound now and all the background noises. Oh no, I was so happy that I did not smudge a single dot today, but I did. Let me redo those dots. Nobody's gonna know. So that's it for today. I hope your Mondays are a little better with Mondays with Color Prism. See you next Monday.